Good morning, everyone. It's Marla Copal, MK to some, but Marla Copal. So I posted earlier that today I was going to talk about beware of what it is that you believe. And here's what I mean by that. I am a soft skills facilitator and have been for most of my life. Sometimes acknowledging it and sometimes like forgetting that that's what I do. But what is a soft skill? A soft skill is a communication skill. A soft skill is something that includes the other person. It includes what they're thinking. It includes their concerns. You don't just have a broad brush answer for everyone. So, as a small business owner in the health field, I find myself many times just offering advice to people who are making a decision. Sometimes they've already made the decision and they're into major regret. So let's talk about how they got there. Because this is where I think sales in general gets a bad name, or recruiting gets a bad name. Because everybody thinks that if I just tell you, you can do what I do, that you will be a winner. Nobody's going to do what I do. I have good days, I have bad days, but I also have a background with a grandfather and a grandmother and a father and a mother that absolutely would talk to anyone anytime and help them out with their needs. So I was culturized to not only be out there, to be engaged with people. I watched it my whole life. I watched my grandfather deal with farmers. At 4, he took me to the door of the John Deere store and he would point out every farmer and he said, see that guy over there and how he's dressed? You know, he's got, and what he has is one of his overall things unclipped and he's cut the toes out of his shoes. He said he needs bunion surgery and he won't do it and he's worth this much. So my grandfather knew the assets of every farmer in town because of course he did business with them. And what he was training me on, do not judge a book by its cover. Get to know each person you're speaking with. So many people that I know right now are considering doing a home-based business, much of it network marketing, and I love network marketing. I just don't have a belief in the process that is pitched and has made a lot of people a lot of money. Now, there are a number of people that style works for, but it is not my style. I know people are not going to have my intrepidness when they walk into a room and they'll talk to any stranger. That's just not something that everybody has. And I don't have an expectation that they have it. I also have never ever sold anything, and I've sold for over 40 years in my life. I have never sold anything with just my side of the story. I need your side of the story first. I need to know who you are. I need to know what's moving you. And I am not going to make the assumption that you need to make money. You need or may want to create, you may need self-esteem. You may need no more worth, a self-worth. And you may want to develop some people skills, and you're just going to take this on as a scary adventure. So for whatever the reason, I help people step out of that box. And I know that each time I'm sharing my products with people for a solution, that there's the potential. I'm meeting people all the time that may be thinking, could I do this? Wow, she makes it look easy. Wow, is this something I want to do? Oh gosh, I have a need right now. Well, then that's when you get down and you have a pragmatic conversation around, here's what I know I can do. Here's what I think I want to do. Here's where I see that I maybe don't have all the skills that I need. You have to self-assess before you even go out and create a business plan. A lot of people say, I'm going to go create a business plan. But if you can't even sit down and have a conversation with someone in which you ask at least a couple of leading questions, You don't have to talk the whole time. I'm here for about 10 minutes when I talk to you, but most of my friends will know that I can talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere. But I'll also probably sit there sometimes and ask you a couple of questions. Like, what prompted you to have a conversation with me about doing this business? I might get a lot of interesting answers. It's an open-ended question. I get a lot of people that come to me and say, I'm ready to do this. I say, well, let's back up. Why? What is it that you see yourself doing? How will it integrate with what you're doing now? And sometimes I don't push the conversation, but I want the awareness there. If they're still gung-ho, ready to go, then I do my best to support them when the times go down. But do you know that in network marketing, over 50% of the people that start are out at the end of the year? And it's my personal vision to help people stick it out, but they have to find the right one in the first place. And so I'm going to tell you that I've done over, like I said, over 40 years of sales. I've trained for over 20 years of that, or I've coached and I've helped people through their particular style. But when someone gives me a book of scripts that says this is how you talk to people, I'm going to gag, because I bought that book so I could see what people are believing. But let me tell you, do you have a great tone of voice? Do you have the finesse to casually say some of these things? Or are you just going to be in your uptight mode and just dump it on somebody? I had someone in a class once say that you should bring everybody into a coffee shop, and every 30 minutes you should tell them, well, see that guy over there? He's waiting for what I'm going to share. So if you don't take it now, I'm not too sure I can help you. No wonder sales has a bad name. High pressure is like the last thing that you do. Remember when mom and dad were threatening you that you're going to go to your room? What did they try before that? Did they say, look, if you stop this temper tantrum, I'll give you a popsicle? Did they bribe you? Did they try to negotiate? Hey, remember that birthday party you wanted? Well, here's what it was going to look like, and here's what I'm taking out of that party if you don't start acting better. So actually, it's a negotiation. Hey, I want better behavior from you, so I'm willing to offer you this. Now, as kids, we don't quite get that. But then we move into adulthood. We take that tantrum into a bullying sales process. And I'm not saying it's bullying, but I do know that there are people who have a tough time making a decision. Oh, yeah. But I'm not going to accelerate their pace with pressure. It's very easy for me to say, I think we've covered all the territory we can cover today. And so what I want you to do is to go home and think about this, because it doesn't sound like this is something you're ready for. And the minute I do that, I get about a 50-50 response. Some of them say, you're right. I do want to sleep on it. Great. You do that. And others say, oh, no. And then the true concern comes out. People share interesting information, but they have to get over the ritual of saying no, the ritual of, oh, maybe, the ritual of, and people keep telling us, go for so many no's a day. And I'm one of those people, go for a lot of no's, but don't always necessarily pitch a business. Pitch a service and pitch. Oh, I hate that word, but I threw it out there because it's the thing that you have to understand. Do you know how to take apart a presentation versus a pitch? And when is a pitch appropriate and when is it inappropriate? When is a presentation appropriate? When is a presentation not appropriate? I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there trying to make a business of sales, but they are not what I consider professionals. Now, my dad was the professional. He was Happy Tom. He would talk to anywhere, anybody, anywhere, anytime. When he went in to call on people, and you got to think of that, he's in the 50s and the 60s. He's calling on electronic stores, and electronic stores in those days sold tubes for TVs, and they sold Channel Master antennas, and they sold all these parts. So he had such a rapport with the people that he worked with that they'd allow him to go back into the stock room and do an inventory of what it was he supplied. And then he'd come back and he'd have a conversation with, it looks like you're selling this, it looks like you're selling that. He'd add, what do you notice in the trends? Is it longer to sell those? Is it whatever? Now, he knew this because he had his monthly inventories that he had from them. But he was also looking for trends in the market that were changing because he did not want to stick them with stock that they couldn't move. So that's one of the things in network marketing. Are you getting stuck with stock that you don't know how to move? So I have people that still have stock sitting out there that they've not moved, and I work with them. I know it's there. I keep asking, how can I support? Sometimes they just have to get ready. They bit off a big bite, and now they're getting comfortable with that bite. And then they're waiting to chew on the next one. So I just offer. So as a sales skills facilitator, I help people understand, are you really ready for this product? Would you do this? Would you do that? It's not because you get excited that a business does well. It's not because you think you can do it that a business does well. Belief is a lot of a part of it, but I gotta tell you that I unwind more disbeliefs that people have about themselves before they can step into action. So people are starting to work with me before they make those decisions so that they now understand that these businesses that they want to evolve in, oh my gosh, that is going to happen. We hear that 80% of the people may not go back to work this year. That's a lot of people. But you know what? People still need services. People still need valuable services. People still need health products. And it's your choice as to what it is that you want to serve the world with. But you want to come at it from who you are, how you like to be, and what needs to be tuned up so that you are the most powerful you, especially if you're going to go into a sales service business. So I look forward to chatting with any of you that you would like. I'm available on Messenger. I'm available on Facebook. And did you know now that there are new live Messenger rooms? So all you do is go into a Facebook post. You select the people you want to invite and you open it up and you actually have a Zoom conference going on without Zoom. And it's immediate. So if you're just on the phone with someone, you say, can we do a better face-to-face? You can immediately set up a messenger room. So if some of you want to set up a messenger room with me, please do it. Send it to me. Thursdays are a day in which I do not have a lot of bookings so that I can be open for you. So thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday morning at 8:30. Bye-bye.